G'day, how you going? Ian Apples here, your acrylic guru from Australia. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I want to show you beginners and advanced beginners that you can do it. Here's the size of my canvas that I'm using today, and I'll also get some colours going up the screen that I'm going to use. If you don't have the same, just use something similar till you get yourself sorted, okay? So we're going to do a bit of a mountain snow scene here, something that we can all relate to a piece of art, and I'm going to make it something wintry because it's very summer here, so I'm going to go opposite polars. Alright, so get on over here and let's get right into it. Okay, I've got a pencil here, but hang on a minute, that's not a pencil, that's a pencil. I think I'll just get out, see your horizon line on most paintings is either here, here or here, depending on how low or high you are. Okay, this one's going to be about all the way down here. So I'm just going to give you guys a layout of what's going to happen on the canvas today. And we don't get these mountains here in Australia, but I'm going to paint some kind of ice like what you see in Nepal or something like that. I want to do some kind of mountain like that, and the best way to make that mountain, instead of it looking flat and to make it look like it's coming at you, see these tips here, you just simply do stuff like that off them, and as you're painting it and shadowing it, it starts giving it that look where it's coming towards you. It's quite easy to do. Okay, I'm getting some soft titanium white out of a bottle. It's just soft bodied stuff. Look at it coming out. It's like runny toothpaste. Oh, just excuse those noises. There we go. That's for the sky. And for me sky, I'm going to use cerulean blue in this one. I've got some mid-tone grey. Now I need to get some retarder for that soft bodied titanium white. Now I just call it craft white. Now I'm going to grab me putter on a brush. Now message me in the comments below and tell me where you're from, and if it's your first time here, how did you find my channel? Now I'm going to just mix this soft body paint with the retarder and prime up the sky area only. Not all the canvas, just the sky area. I'll tell you why later on. So I'm just going to crisscross this. Now I'm using a canvas cloth here, Frederick's canvas cloth. A lot of people ask what kind of canvas I use. I just have it taped to my blacked out board here on my table easel for filming purposes. Then I simply stroke this and get a beautiful even thin layer of that retarder and soft body paint, white titanium, on there, ready to blend a beautiful sky however you want it to be. Now I've just wiped my brush, I haven't washed it. I'm getting the blue and I want to mix some grey with it because it's going to be a snowy scene. I want the sky colour to be kind of cold and overcasty and a lot of snow within the blue atmosphere if I can pull that off. So first off, simply get it across the top of your sky, push it on the top of the sky, concentrate on the top, then bring the rest down. There's me mountain there somewhere, I've got a mountain there. And it's what doing it this way, it's creating the top darker than the light. And if it's your very first time getting into painting and you wonder why we always do the dark at the top and lighter at the bottom, it creates the sphere effect in your skies. Now I've done that, I'm just going to stroke that left and right now like a pure gentleman and get it nice and even blue area of my sky there. Now my go-to brushes for doing my clouds on my type of sky, a hog bristle fan brush to stamp it on, and I've got these blending brushes that I use to blend them and add turmoil and loveliness, yumminess and absolute bullshit into your clouds, okay? If you want these and that yellow putter on a brush, simply message me on Facebook, links in the description below. And work out where you want your cloud. So I might want it coming right behind the mountain here with a bit of red sunlight hitting this side here. So what I'll do is I'll simply get the cloud on. Now what I'm doing here is as I'm stamping this on, I'm not just going willy-nilly, I'm trying to create the top outside shape as I'm doing that. So what I'm doing, I'm bringing it around here, I want a bit there, and I'm going to come over here now. And I want to, from about this point, I want to virtually start coming off the painting with that cloud. Bang, like that. That's right off the painting. Now in the footprint of this painting, it is important if you can grab bits of sky, See here, I've got bits of sky showing through. I'll just pull that down a bit there. It's not one big solid white blob, and I want to get some more of it coming over here, ready to be hit with some sunlight. And we're going to, at the moment, when I blend that down, it's going to be a flat cloud, but we got to create the 3D effect so it looks alive in the sky. Okay, beautiful. Give me the thumbs up if you like what you see so far. Now I'm going to grab a blending brush and a Chuck's kitchen towel. Best way to blend my clouds. I'll get a bit closer. I'll start here. What I do, I start feeling the water, feeling it, adding turmoil like this, and I want the edges of this soft as buggery. Okay, feel it. Now I feel I've got a lot of paint in my brush. I haven't even looked at it yet, but if I look at it, there you go, look what's in that brush. If I try and get soft stuff like this out here, with all that on my brush, I'm going to make it look like snot. So that's why I have my Chuck's kitchen wipe, and I'll wipe it as I go, and you're like a mad scientist. You're twisting and adding turmoil, and those blue open bits that I said keep in the footprint, they're going to add lighter and duller brightness areas within that cloud body as well. Okay, so I'm just twisting. Don't keep in one motion if you can, because it'll make your clouds look too uniform. You watch at the end of this cloud how natural it looks, and it's because I'm going all over the place. I call this movement that I'm doing in my brush now turmoil. I'm just doing some turmoil strokes, I suppose. There we go. And if you look in that blue, we've got pale bits of white and brighter bits of white. And look at my blending brush. See how it's all spayed out and looks like a mad dog that's just got out the shower? See there? All you do is do that again, and they're fine, ready to keep blending your skies. Okay? I want this up here. I'm carrying on a bit here, but I'm trying to show you the fundamentals of clouds. Now down here, I'm just going to wash my brush that I'm using for clouds. I've got 3 tubs here, one for washing and another one for rinsing. I've got a large and a small. I'll pull that up the side of me canister there, and then I'll rinse it in there. I've got a paper towel roll here, and I dab it on there. I mean, the brush is damp, but it's not soaking wet. I've got my magenta here. I want to get some of this, just a very little bit, and start mixing some grey. See, that's very powerful. I'll get a bit more grey over here and try and lessen the grunt of that. All right, because we're going to add just a bit of sunlight hitting the bottom of these clouds. Just this side here, I want some redness. So I'm going to add some of this. It's like the sun's on this side. It's gone down over here. It doesn't always have to go down in the middle of and the back of your painting. It can go down on the sides as well. So we're creating the same thing. Not too much of this, just over there like that. I will grab my blending brush again, and I want to sit that in. Just sit that into that white there. Get rid of the deliberate brush marks, stamps. Take your time, it's never a rush to finish a painting as well. Now I've washed that brush again. Now I'm going to pick up the pure white again, just to add the yumminess into that cloud to give it that final 3D look. So I want to find here. I'll do this area first. I'm just going to use another blending brush. And those whites that I put on, I want to keep them there, but soften the edges down, okay? Just soften them down so you're sitting it into the body of that cloud. And hopefully with a bit of luck, I'll look in my monitor in a minute, and we've done what we were trying to achieve. Now let me have a look here. I want to see some kind of heaviness here. That's what I feel. Wipe the blending brush. I want to just put some yumminess here, not too much, probably a bit tracing out there. And maybe something just in here. I'll get that maybe fading up, and this bit crisscrossing and fading down. Sit that bit down. I don't know, I could probably drag like I normally do if that sky's a bit wet. No, it's sort of drying up, but that's fine. I do want a bit more here because I feel I might have to add a little bit more of the magenta once I do this into these heavier white areas. So I'm picking up some of the magenta just to get that pinkish vibe in the underside of those chunky yumminess there. That'll do, that'll do. I'll set it back down before my paint dries. The retarder, if I never did that white craft paint retarder, I can't do this. This would not happen. And just to finish that side off, because I feel it's not quite got the vibe there, it's too flat here. I'm just grabbing some more white and I'm just going to put a bit more heavy yumminess there and quickly set that down. I really should have known what kind of cloud I was going to paint, but I just painted anything here. But that's what we do, and you can see what's happening in front of your eyes. I did just have an idea, just to make it, I'm going to get something right in the distance here, creeping along. And I just want to grab my blending brush. Hopefully I can pull the bottom half of that down into the sky, blend it into buggery, and we've got some distant cloud out there as well. Yeah, I'm going to add trees, but you know, this might get covered up, it might not, who knows. There we go, that's just something I wanted to add. Finishing it off with a bit more yumminess because it still looked a bit weak there. There we go, just twirling. I won't blend this down, I'll just leave that. While I'm doing this, I looked in my monitor, I stopped and analysed, and I'm visualising, well, it needed that added to it. You can see the difference. Now for me block and in colour, I've got some French ultramarine blue and the magenta just to make up a dark colour. I don't want to just do black. Now I've dried my sky just around the edge here because I want to be able to put this paint on. Now remember when I told you only need that craft paint retarder in the sky area, nowhere else? Well, the reason being, if I have it all here, when I'm painting this on, it's very easy to dig into it. And I know that from experience. So we're going to get this mountain, I'll just use my brush, create some kind of ice cap, Nepal looking mountain, something you might see in Nepal there. See how that's a rounded edge? I don't want that round. I'll just map it in there first and then we'll tidy it up. So cover your naked bits of your sky. I mean, you don't need to use a knife like the oil artists do because we're using an acrylic. It works totally different, okay? So I just want to come down, get some cranky bits there. There we go. Now I'll just simply block this in. And this can be dry when we add the next colours to it. I was looking for some dioxine purple, but I don't have any, so I've got some Prussian blue here. I'm going to use this on that same brush, I've just washed it. And this will be the darker colour in that mountain. So work out, I want the actual bottom, I've dried that mountain, so I want the bottom, I'm just going to stamp it on like this and let the brush become dry and slowly scope it up, watch this, into the body of that mountain, crisscrossing it this way and that way, making the brush strokes feel and look arty and satisfy you at the same time when you're doing it. Because sometimes when you're doing a great brush stroke, you're getting satisfied, and there's nothing better than being satisfied in your own art journey. And I want to work out where I might want some, I'll come this side here. Remember I wanted those zigzags, so what I'll do is I'll do a sort of, just a tape, there we go, that'll do. That'll give me an idea where to put some dark bits. So I'll sort of come here, scoot it down, making some darker areas and let it fade. Same here on this side. too close together where it's cluttering up. Just sort of be careful there. Want this bit here, coming there. Just sort of squint your eyes, see where you're feeling you need some dark bits and bobs. Now I want to put some white on there like snow, but I don't want to use pure white. So what I'm going to do is grab some of me white over this side here. I'll put a little bit of water on it. And I'll just want to grab some of this stuff here, just to taint it. So what I'm going to do, I'll grab me mouse stick so I can lean on it because I'm standing at a table easel here. I'm wiping some of the paint off the brush just so as I can start at the top here, and I just want to get it on to the edge of the mountain there. Now see that dark I put there? I want to kind of come to that and see what it's this easy. Look, you can control what you're doing. I remember when I was learning, I didn't know if I was learning oils or acrylics, and I saw them using knives and you're trying to put it on and you're getting all, what am I doing? Am I doing it right? This is an easy way to control your snow on a mountain. Look, this brush, and we can build it up. Let me have a look in my monitor there. That's looking all right. I mean, it's looking a bit liney, but you can break it up the deeper you get in your journey and you're understanding more things. I'm just showing you the fundamentals of it all, okay? Because it's fundamentally great to learn. And I'm going to keep getting some of this crumbling down the mountain. Get a valley of snow smashing down into this ridge here. And we've got those darker areas. Get it right to the top there. I want a bit of it here now, so I'm going to... If you already know how to master a knife and you want to do this in a knife, do your mountain the way you're happy with it. I can only show you how I do it. Okay. Get a lot of this coming down the mountain there. And then we've got a dark ridge of it there. Let it mix if it's going to mix. That's just naturefying your brush strokes, which makes them look natural. Sometimes you can't plan it, they just happen, and when you look in your monitor and see what's happened, it's fantastic. Come across, cut that in front of there if you have to. And then what you simply do with this is you would look at it and see where it needs lighter and duller pieces and bits and bobs and other bits of rock sticking out, and then you're making it up as you go. I'm going to just get awesome snow along here now, just like this. Now I'm grabbing the pure white. This brush started life out as one like that, but over time it got munted up, but it comes in handy for doing lots of shrubs and stuff, and I'm going to use it for lacing on my pure white snow. So I'm going to get that onto the tip of this, and I want to get the fluffy white snow hitting where it needs to hit, like this, see? Sitting on everything in our mountain there. Now look in your monitor there, I'm looking in my monitor there, or squint your eyes and kind of see where you need bits to fossil out a bit, just so it don't look too weird. I've masked the bottom horizon line up and I want to get the water area done. Now to do that I've got my putter on a brush again. Now I'm just using what's left over here of the craft paint. It doesn't have to have that retarder in it, but mine's still got a bit of it left in there, and I just want to use this to prime up the bottom area, so when I put the blue watercolours in, they're not going to be chalky and draggy and dry looking. So now I want to bring this to the masking tape, so as hopefully I don't get a white line, a white line across the horizon when I've finished. And the best way to do that is just bring this under white painting to your tape, like so, paint it, and then start pushing it to it. Because the actual colour can fill in between here and to the tape, so you're not going to get a white ridge. I've got so many white ridges in my early days when you pull the tape off, and it was kind of frustrating, but I've finally worked out how not to get them. Because if you put this on right, I'm going to have trees there anyway, but if you put it on right there like that, it can push under the tape and create that white line of ridge of paint when you're pulling it off with your coloured on there. So that'll do. So for me water, I've just wiped that putter on a brush. I'll use the Prussian blue. So what I'll do is I'll pull it on one side of the brush. Work out where I want my darker bit of the water. Now I want this side a bit dark because it's going to be open and this will have some foreground on it. So all I'm going to simply do is stamp this pretty much about out to here. Stamp it on. Get some more. Stamp it. I want it kind of cupping around like that. So this is how I can control that. Stamp it on like that. A little bit over in here. A bit of darkness there. Come on, I want the, there we go. Now I'm going to wipe the brush again. This white that I've just put on there is wet. First I'll pull that into there like that. There we go. Wipe the brush. Get that bit done. Okay, wipe the brush again. Now come all the way across your water. See here, that wet white has allowed that blue to continue across and happen onto your canvas there. And then just, there we go. I'm quite happy with that. We'll pull this tape off. People love watching the tape come off. And there we go. I've got no white ridge of paint there, perfectly executed. Now before I put these mid-ground trees in, I want to get some mist there, and I've discovered the best way to do mist in acrylic is with my putter on a brush. I've dried the canvas. This paintbrush is dry. I'm incorporating the paint to the brush slowly so I don't have a big solid blob push right in there, okay? Pushing it on there a little bit more, and I'm pretty sure that might be enough. Let's have a look. See there, it looks quite evenly distributed at the bottom of the base of the brush. And I simply want some mist. So I'm going to just stamp it on over the sky. And this does a beautiful, I discovered in my last painting, it worked great. I'm just going to the waterline now. I'm not going in the water. In the sky there. Coming over the sky and over the edge of the mountain, and it's sinking that back, and it's probably going to fade about here somewhere. Okay, and you can make it whatever you can have a trail of mist in it if you need be, but I want it over the sky as well. Look at that. So it's sinking back, putting distance way there, because this mountain doesn't have to be that way. It could be going that way in the painting. You just don't know. Fade it away over here somewhere. Where are we? The trees are going to stop there, so I'll just fade it there somewhere. And that's how easy it is to get mist with the putter on a brush. Now I'm using a mongoose hair fan brush. It's not as scratchy and as tough as a hog bristle, but it's still got some firmness. I'm grabbing some black and burnt umber because I want to get me, they're going to come from about this height and they're going to come down to about here. So I just want to use this. I'm not too good at these trees, but I've got to keep giving it a go. So what I'm going to do is start at the tops of them. Get the top controlled. Yeah, this brush is working wonderful. There we go. The top's a bit uneven, but they're still gradually coming from the edge of the painting down into the middle of the painting. thickening up this area here, because there's a lot of trees here. They're going to be back and forth from each other. And now the water bit, I'll simply just those reflections in, and you can see what that mist has done now. It's at a distance between here and there. It was quite easy to achieve. Now the bottom half, that can be a bit more scratchy and not as detaily as the top. Oh. Certain times of the day you do not see the reflection of the landmass in the water, where you might think you didn't put the reflection in. Well, this is that certain time of the day because I just haven't done it, and it doesn't need it there. And pictures I've saw to get this idea never had it either. I saw a mountain. I wanted to do this sort of mountain, and then I saw, I can't remember where, you know, people put things up and you get ideas from those as well. Like a layout. I've got the layout. I saw the layout that I liked for this. So I'm doing this layout. And actually the layout for this painting was a daytime grass kind of vibe, but I'm changing it to a wintry type of Nepal scene, I suppose, what you get in Nepal there. And what you can do, I found with reflections, if you get you're a bit weird about, like see there, I can put like a tall one there, a deliberate tall one there, just to get that in the reflection as well. So we've got that one and this one here, and it's distinguishing the reflection instead of it just looking like an even reflection. I'm back to my shrub brush again, something like this. Use whatever brush is going to work for you. I'm grabbing just the burnt umber now. I'm going to start over here now, and I want to start putting some of my pencil pines in with this colour. Coming to the horizon line, and that can be just scratchy datched down like so. Start again. You got that darker colour breaking it up, adding the depth. Scratch that bit down. This is just burnt umber. I'll just do little bits here. I'm going to pull some white over here now. I'm just leaving what's in the brush. No, I need a bit more. I'll grab a bit more burnt umber. I want to grab me lighter. Oh, too much now. I'll put some more white onto the palette. There we go. I want a brighter value of this, so it'll act like the darker snow on the trees before I highlight it. This is where you start detailing it. See the bottom half? I'm just dragging it to give it that reflection vibe. See, I'm leaving a nice big dark piece there. I could probably have a little bit of light hitting there and down in there as well. I'm just hoping my shadow isn't casting over it. I'm just grabbing this brush. I'll just see if this is going to do anything. It's pretty dry there, but it's not really doing anything. I've washed it. I'm just kind of blurring it a bit if it's doing anything. But we're going to put a surface on this water anyway, so don't worry. I'm just trying it out in front of you so you get to see as well. I'm not doing it off camera. There we go. There's a little bit of dampness in this brush, and it's dragging that. It's making that acrylic paint damp and draggable. Now I've got white, and I want to start adding some of this brighter colour now. Dry your work if you need to. right on the... See how I've gone beyond the brown? I'll show you on this one. You don't want to go that low. You want to go beyond it, just to give that convincing look that it's got its real shadow there. And I'm just going to use this now to really add the snow to the dead foliage there, leaving some dark pockets, because there's not heavy snow in this scene, so I'm feeling it didn't quite cover everything. And you can see what's happening there. See, it's, if anything, that's a bit too much snow on there for me. I've overdone it a bit. So I'm going to go lighter on this one. And now I've done this, I'll simply put the reflections in the water as well, but very lightly where you got it at top. Now I'm grabbing the white on a nice flat brush with a little bit of the burnt umber still mixed with it, just like that there. Because what I want to do now is put a bit of landmass under those trees so they don't look a bit weird. And the best way to do this is grab your bullshit stick, I've got mine, or something steady, and you just want to put a ribbon of land out there, but different thicknesses. So I'm going to start there, bring it along, come wide, come thin, stop, reload, check your horizon line that you're not going too far off it. I nearly went too low there. And so long as the stick's going to keep it straight, but the actual line itself can be all crooked and different thicknesses, portraying different perspectives in the land there. And this is just simply a little bank of land out there, but full of snow. They'll come from about here. I'm resting on my bullshit stick because it just gives bullshittingly straight lines, and then I'm just going to come wider right off the painting. I've got the black burnt umbery colouring mixed, got my mouse stick, and you just want to, I've got to get this nice, and so what I'll do is I'll put one trunk about there, just let it fade up, get some different trunks within your snow, get some lower in the snow and some higher, but not too much because we've already detailed the top, and we're pretty much just sending these pencil pines into the ground underneath it there. See how I'm breaking the trunk up as I go? That's sitting it in the tree there. You want to get the paint on your brush and then take it off. Take it off. And then, let's see if this brush is going to do. Now that brush is too flimsy, so grab yourself a small detailed brush, and if you don't have detailed brushes, do yourself a favour and get some. So I'll put some on this little brush. I'll wipe it off. And those trunks, you just want to see like that, just sink down. It's minimal, but it just makes up more realism to your painting. Just casting some type of shadow at the base there. Just go along, same principle, from the dark, get some of that off. If you feel there's too much of a hard line there, you can do this. Look, I'm going to venture in, get rid of some of that hard line there, creating shadow and senses of realism, scratching it in. This is all just what I'm doing this for. This is just simply from analysing my work, and I saw that it can do with a bit of scratching here. Now I'm just grabbing the pure white on that same flat brush, and I'm just going to simply lace in some white snow here and there. I'm going to grab a decent fan brush. I'll grab some more titanium white along with this burnt umber so I can base in the foreground. So I've got my burnt umber, I've got some more over here. I'll grab some more of that so I'm not wasting it. And I want to mix up the snow colour. I suppose I've gone for a brown vibe of it all here. I want the foreground coming off the painting, but coming about there. There we go. Now, I don't want this flat. I'll do it flat first, just so you'll see what I mean. Bring it across, bang. Before I add the curvature to it, just look at the perspective of it, and you'll see exactly what I'm trying to portray and get out there to you beginners. Now, to me, that looks a bit funny, just flat. I like to just bring it around a bit. So let's start bringing it around to the tip there like that. Don't start at the tip, come towards the tip. Then we can, and you'll see if you, once I finish laying this in, if you go to this part of the video and pause it, screenshot it, go to the other bit where it was flat, screenshot it, and flick backwards and forwards between the two pics, and you'll get an idea of just, but we're going to have more coming here. You'll get an idea. Now see, the water's this way, so that land is that way to the water. If that was flat, that land's going to look too much that way, like you're looking at the land this way and the water this way. It's very, can be very difficult at times to try and work out how to not get that to happen. Now I'm just going to try and swoop some of this up here. I'll work out if I'll come over and over here more. I'd love to see, I've never seen snow in real life. Now make sure you give me a comment below, even if you just simply say hi. It helps the algorithm of my channel when you give a comment. Before I get too carried away, I'm just going to, let's see if I've got any there. There we go. I just want to dirty my brush, a flat brush, and then grab some glaze. So we can use our bullshit stick. And I want to get most of it off the brush. Come across, hang on, I can't even see it. I took too much off the brush. Come across your reflections and sink them reflections down, and you're simply putting a film, a surface on the top of the water. Don't drag in the one spot too much, because this, for some reason, can dig your paint and turn it to absolute snot. I've learnt that the hard way in previous paintings. And you can see how that's added a film onto the water. Now I just analyse it, I'm looking, I don't like this, so I'm going to try and distort that. There we go. Now this is dry, it's not 100% dry, and I want to grab, I've got me cerulean blue and white, so I want to grab half that white and start getting the snow on there. Now look at your layout, this is behind that, so I want to bring that up from there. So let's see if we can get darkness from the base, come up. and then just start sweeping this however you see fit, because you're the artist painting your painting, not me, and you want to be happy the way you're doing it. So you just need to, like I'm showing you here, just brush on some wavy snow. It might look flat at the moment, but when we add the other colour, it'll shape it up a bit, it'll show dimension. That. So I don't like that, I want to try and make that more sweeping behind that one there. So I'm going to come there. Now that can have a dry, and then we'll put our pure white snow on there. So I'm grabbing the pure white on the same brush. I've cleaned the brush out, so it's not going to just smear the same colour everywhere. And let's have some fun. I want this in front, so what I'm going to do is just sweep. I'm rolling the edge of the brush to the edge of that hill there. There we go. I'll turn it around. Just so I can get some white paint breaking up on there. That's it, I'll reload the brush. Right above that, pushing that other piece back. Lightly painted. Where it's hitting the water, I want to leave it a bit darkish. So I'll try to do this, leaving it dark behind that bit as well. Getting that top edge. I'll do some other sort of mounds within this. There we go. Now see here, I'm looking at that. I'm just going to grab the flat brush because I feel we need darkness there. So I'm just going to grab the burnt umbery black colour and simply get that vibe happening. I'm going to just tease it up into here a bit because I can come back down with the white. Scrumbling it in. Getting rid of those lines. Have the light hitting the water that's hitting the edge. This is too horny looking there, looks like a horn. So I'm just, after looking at it, I'm just going to rectify that horn shape bit because I just don't like it. Try and get it looking a bit more. And I'll do it on camera so you can just see how I've done it. Because I was just not happy with that. Is that better? Get down more. Let me have a look at that. That's looking a bit better. Got the footprint of it there, so I'll on that angle and darken it up again. But I just feel I've got rid of that weird, it just wasn't in perspective with the painting properly, it just felt wrong. Just going to grab a bit of white and try and get this bit in front of that bit and fade it, give it some dimension. You might have a little bit like here, just a little bit of light refracting on something there. Who knows? See what that's done? You might have a little bit of light just hitting something in that dark pocket as well. I don't know what I'm doing here, but I feel I need some kind of darkness here. Maybe with a bit of a shadow, wobbly shadow. How's that looking? Yep. And then a bit of the brown. I don't know, I feel I'm just putting some kind of, way up past there, some kind of weird bent log sticking out of the ground. I just feel I want to put something like that there. One about here. Just something. Put it there. Get it to the thickness it needs to be. You know, you don't have to do this, I just want to add it. And also get the paint off the brush and give him some kind of shadow as well. I'm just grabbing some pure white and sitting on the top side of this, so it just looks like it's got some kind of dropped snow on there. I did dry it, but probably not enough. Probably get some drops of snow within the shadow there as well. Same on this. I'm just going to sign this, and I want to thank everybody who supports my YouTube channel and my Patreon platform. The links are in the description below if you want to become a patron. My Facebook group page, Indianapolis Art Network. And hit the join tab below if you want to become a member of my YouTube channel and support me there every month for the price of a cup of coffee. Okay, let's whack a frame on that and see how she looks. Okay, my version of a winter lake scene with some snow, a mountain, bits of different perspective. I wasn't sure what I was doing here. I'm not familiar with how snow operates in real life, but I'm just trying on camera for you guys anyway, and I hope you like that because I know you can do it. Well, I had a lot of fun painting that. I hope you learnt something along the way, and if you did, be sure to give me a comment below. Tell your friends if you like what I'm doing, but if you don't, you tell everybody. Also, check out this other video of mine. Goodbye, good luck. Good on ya.